Hello, everyone. I hope you are all having a fun, safe, and productive quarantine. To begin my presentation, this is Noi Sepalai. She's a former sweatshop worker from Thailand. In fact, she was a so called employee of a factory that produced apparel for Nike. I say employee so as to highlight that she and so many others are victims of forced labor, abuse, and unfair wages. I know for a fact this is not what you nor I would consider to be an employee of a company. There is a name for this type of injustice. It's called slave labor. Today, I will not be pouring out these tragic stories. Actually, I will be informing you on what you can do to help prevent these tragic stories from happening through introducing you all to the world of fair trade. I hope by the end of this you feel informed and prepared to do your part by following fair trade practices. Let's begin by discussing what is fair trade. According to fairtradecertified.org, fair trade is based on the simple idea that products we buy and sell are connected to the livelihoods of others. Fair trade is a way to make a conscious choice for a better world. A choice for fair trade certified goods is a choice to support responsible companies. In other words, it's a world-changing way of doing business. Connecting back to Noi, fair trade practices help workers like her feel empowered and sustain a comfortable life. Everyday items that you purchase, you may not even know are being made in sweatshops. For example, you may know that every tag you see says made in China. The truth behind that label is that it means a world of hurt for both the workers in China and the United States. In discussion of parts that make our iPhones, the New York Times says that the US Commerce Department is expected to announce that America's trade deficit with China swelled to a record $200 billion. And this is in 2006. Imagine being a company that outsourced their labor to make it cheaper and then complaining about the taxes you have to pay, even the taxes we as citizens have to pay for this deficit. Now, as of 2019, the deficit has been raised to over $365 billion. Now that you guys all know what fair trade is and the truth behind not operating fair trade, let us dive deeper into the businesses that are moving the world of fair trade forward. According to an article from Environment and Energy Leader in 2013, General Mills made a pledge to sustainability, sourcing 100% of 10 of their ingredients by 2020. This is approximately 50% of their raw materials that they are purchasing. And as of 2019, General Mills was proud to report that 96% of their goods were fair trade. 96%. Let's think about that. They said that only 100% of 10 ingredients were going to be sourced fair trade. But now their whole company is 96% fair trade. So I say this so you guys can start eating your Cheerios. Being one of the first and most notable companies to pledge to fair trade practices, Patagonia has said in each factory, a democratically elected fair trade worker committee decides how the funds will be allocated. Workers have chosen to use the premiums to fund community projects like healthcare programs or a child care center to purchase products they could otherwise not afford, like a laptop, computer, or stove. Or they can choose to take a cash bonus. Patagonia has done so much work to become a fair trade company. In fact, they have even said that they will take items that you buy and that you don't want anymore, and you can trade it in for another one. Or if you buy them, you can still send it back and they will recycle that item for you. This, along with many other practices that Patagonia does, proves that they are truly committed and passionate about fair trade and proving that it is okay to be a big business and treat your workers fairly, unlike the Nike sweatshop that Noi was working in. Being that most of us are going to be moving out of our parents' homes and into our own living spaces, home decor is something that we will be doing very soon. Pottery Barn has detailed that they have committed to fair trade by outlining on their website Since 2015, we have partnered with factories around the world to make a difference in the lives of people who make our products. Fair trade certified factories are held to rigorous social, environmental, and economic standards that assure safe working conditions, improved livelihoods, protection of fundamental human rights, environmental protection, worker empowerment, opportunities for women, and so much more. These three companies all show three different ways that fair trade can work in our lives. With General Mills, you see how our food can be impacted. With Patagonia, you see how clothing can be impacted. And with Pottery Barn, you see how our home decor and other daily functions can be impacted by just choosing to purchase fair trade. Being that these companies are working so that their workers are fairly compensated, and not just their workers, not their specific employees, but the factories that they use to source their materials are also operating this way. It makes a world of difference. And so after hearing about these three very large businesses that practice fair trade, I want you guys to understand that practicing fair trade is a choice. Unfortunately, companies are not allocating their resources ethically or practically and are just causing further unnecessary injustice. Moving on, let's discuss how the everyday person can buy fair trade. First, let's start by budgeting. Take a look at the items you are buying most frequently. Are they fair trade certified? No. Search for an alternative that is. Yes? Well, in the words of Kris Jenner, you're doing great, sweetie. For more expensive items, plan ahead and save. See it as an investment. Most times, because companies have control of how their products are made, they are of excellent quality and will last a lifetime. Next, I want to pinpoint you to using your resources. There are countless websites you can use to check if your purchases are fair trade. The www.fairtradecertified.org website shows right here that you can shop for fair trade certified products. You can even select your product type or enter a company name to check to see if something's fair trade. There are countless resources on this website that you guys can go to start making that change to buying fair trade products and supporting this movement. Next, we move to changetheworldbyhowyoushop.com. Here they outline how you can just begin shopping ethically. Even there are categories, and one I want to pinpoint out right now is the 25 gift ideas under $25 that every college student can afford. I acknowledge that, on our budgets, it may be difficult. We'll get more into that more later. So, being that these websites offer these options for you to ethically shop, I would suggest that you guys take advantage of it. I personally have taken advantage of it for a long time, just so I can make that change. In fact, in high school, my high school used to have days dedicated to us learning about fair trade, learning about the injustice that goes on. And this is where I really found that how I was buying products, how my family was buying products, we were not being ethical. We were actually taking up like 3 Earths worth of materials with just one family. Really, research is the most important thing you can do if you want to start to get into fair trade. I know that today I have given you all a small glimpse into the world of fair trade and efforts for you to also make the change. But I will be the first to acknowledge that this is not easy to be picky when you're on a college student's budget. However, I have shown you all that everyday food items like cereal and clothing are fair trade certified. This is not something only financially well-off people can sustain. Moving forward, do your research, start small by pledging to yourself to buy a few daily use fair trade products. It will make a positive difference morally, ethically, and sustainably. Thank you.